Hey guys, today I'm unboxing the SUNPOLLO air duster and vacuum cleaner 2-in-1. I got this from Amazon. Excuse the wet package, it was raining outside. Here's the power information if you guys actually care about it. Manual, a little piece for a vacuum, charging cord, which is USB-C, which is actually pretty nice, and I guess another piece for the vacuum. So this is the vacuum itself, vacuum slash blower. It's pretty compact, fits in the hand. Doesn't really feel too cheap. I think the price was about $50. I'll post the price in here. But there's a few models, you know how Amazon does it. There's a few models that all look the same, just different people who make it. Yeah, it's right there, air duster, USB chargers down there as well. This bottom has a little metal piece. It actually feels pretty good quality. Oh, it starts too, okay. So I'm actually gonna use this to show you how well it blows and it vacuums. So that'll be following up the next few clips. Okay, so I've been using some more, and it seems like if this part is in, it's doing a vacuum function, same buttons, but if you put this part out, it's actually doing the suction portion. So I have a pretty dusty keyboard here. We'll see how the vacuum works. I put the attachment on here to kind of get loose of the dirt as well. So let's put it on 2. This works really well actually, especially something like a keyboard. A vacuum alone would probably not get the small crevices, the dust in between the keys itself, but when you're actually loosening the dust with this, it's good to know that you're not spreading it around the keyboard, you're actually just vacuuming it up. And I'll show you guys how to replace the filter afterwards, but you can actually see the dust in there right now. Okay, the next thing we have is a little screen filter on the computer. I don't think it's smart to blow this inside the house, so I'm gonna try to use the vacuum function and see if that works. So just that alone, I don't know if you guys can tell, there's not too much dust here, whereas the bottom portion, you can barely see it through it. It's about the same level of dust, and yeah, that worked pretty well actually. Yep, worked really, really well. Okay, now I'm gonna test the actual blowing part of it. I know this is probably not the best place to do it because the dust's gonna come back in my face, but I'd rather not vacuum the inside of a computer. So let's try that. We have some dust around here. Mainly I'm targeting the fins of the fans. So let's go ahead and try that. 2. Yep, you guys can probably see on screen blowing some dust away. See, there's some right there too. But no, it works really well. It's not too powerful to the point where you feel like you're gonna damage anything. Here is a keyboard cover I have on my laptop. Let's try the low setting for this one. Yep. So for a lot of the small stuff, it definitely got out of there, especially in the crevice that laptops have back here. If you want to get more in depth, you can also add this little attachment right here, which will essentially just break up the stuff you're dealing with and then blowing it. But at that point, I think it's better just to use the vacuum option so you're not spreading the dirt around. And for another test to see how strong the vacuum actually is, I made a little mess around here. Trackpad, keyboard. So we're gonna use it without the actual additional tip and see how it works there. And you can see the stuff inside. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and give some pros and cons of this thing. You know, I do think the portability is cool. I think the fact that it charges via USB, USB-C to USB is nice. One thing, as you see this little rubber piece, that's supposed to keep stuff in, but if you have a lot of stuff in here, it can definitely slip back out the top. Like I was trying to suction the chips off the keypad, and because I was tilting it so much, it was actually slipping back out. And that's another thing. Depending on what you're doing, if there's too much suction, like this keypad will lift it off. So it's a good amount of suction, but it depends on the degree of how much you're pressing it. If it's a flat surface down, if it's flush. And if you're doing that, then you're not really creating much space for there not to be a strong suction, which isn't a bad thing, but you know, I can see this definitely be used for electronics, in a car, small spaces, you know, next to the bed, whatever. I mean, the main reason I got this was I was sick of buying these air dusting cans. They work really well at first, but then, you know, the first 2 times you use it is probably the strongest times this thing can take. After that, it just becomes, you know, you're just hoping, hey, do I have any more use of this or not? And by the, you know, 7th, 8th time, depending on how much you use it, it's pretty much out. This thing is great because it has a vacuum function as well as a duster option. It's rechargeable, so you're making your money worth instead of just buying a lot of these. And this is also you know, it's a liquid inside, so you'll see sometimes you spray too hard or too close, the liquid will actually come out and, you know, dry on something, and that can leave its own stain. So cleanup for this is also pretty simple. All you're going to do is twist off, and this is the actual vacuum section and the blower section. You'll see there's a filter inside. All you do is take that filter out, dump the contents in the trash, and then you can either rinse this off and then dry it out, or if it's not too bad, you can just put it back in and keep on going. I would imagine if you're doing dust, a lot of dust and small particles, it's probably best to rinse it off, but it is plastic, so it's definitely cool. So one thing I also noticed, and I apologize for not mentioning this is what happens when you don't read the manual. There's actually a warning here that says, make sure you turn this to whatever action you're doing. Now the top will always only vacuum, the side will always only blow, but if you notice, there's a vacuum option and a blow option. If you go to vacuum, the vacuum gets even stronger and it doesn't protrude any air out of here. Whereas if you go to the blow option, it still vacuums the top slightly while blowing. So I can see how they want to make sure you get the most out of the air being used by switching it on and off to make sure no air is being lost one way or the other depending on what use you want to use it for. So final thoughts, I think this thing is actually pretty dope. You know, my stuff gets really dusty and sometimes I don't feel like buying the compressed air. This is just a great reason to not have dusty shit, to be honest. I checked on Amazon, it's usually on sale for $70, but there's a discount, so I got it for $55. But usually this stuff kind of, that discount stays forever. So yeah, do I think it's worth it? I do. Yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you guys think this is worth it. It's definitely more than compressed air, but I think it has more uses, and I think the reusability is definitely worth the purchase. So thank you. If you liked the video, like it. If not, don't. I don't control you. Thanks.